over half of the games that EDG have played against them, so they ban it roughly half the time as well. So Orianna just not a champion that somebody like Bulldog has had access to through a lot of this year, and it was a big comfort pick both for him in the LCK and now in the LPL as well. So curious to see if that's something that they want to prioritize early or if they want to take it off the board to not give it tonight.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You know, just take away some tools. See what first pick's going to be looking like for Bilibili. Always wonder exactly what avenue they want to go for, because usually they figure out the kind of strat or direction they want to go with those first couple picks. And it will be the Orianna that's been let through.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the champion's been nerfed, but Orianna is still Orianna, right? Like, she still does everything. And also, it's Knight on this champion. He has been utterly dominant over Orianna throughout this year, almost famously so. I think he's got some sort of ridiculous, like, 19 KDA on the champ so far in 2026. And so I think they're going to be pretty happy with that. You mentioned a lot of the power junglers still available. Vi definitely kind of on the top of that board for me, and it would give Jeja some priority, give them some re-engage. I hope to see them have more aggression in the mid game. I think one of their big problems from the previous game was that they didn't really have a lot of tools to be able to fight back, and Vi definitely gives you that.
I'm wondering, I mean, obviously Shun has been willing to play for the kind of assassins, but also facilitators. We're really looking for like a ball delivery system here for the Orianna. So things like Jarvan maybe pop up. I know that's been something he's really leaned towards, but I'm also looking at EDG's side of things. They've got the setup tool for Dede. More importantly, though, the lock ends up coming through again.
Yeah, I really like Lock in general. I think this champion is completely broken and overpowered. I think it's really just up to whether or not the player feels comfortable on the champion, and so we'll see with Bulldog. Obviously, not everything's gone according to plan for Bulldog throughout this split. He has had one Lock game before, and it did not look very good. So hopefully he has learned since then, and he's gotten more comfortable on the champ. BLG going to go for even more skirmish and combat potential. The Mbessa coming in here on the top side for Wenbo, another champion he feels incredibly comfortable playing, especially weak side, if he needs to in those 1v1 matchups, and so definitely makes a lot of sense to blind it. You mentioned something like the Jarvan as a potential ball delivery system. Pantheon, I think, works very similarly, but it gives Shen even more tempo and priority to play the map, even better into Vi as well with that point-and-click stun.
And what's crazy is this guy was running the LPL on Pantheon last split. This is his first one. This split, so obviously only a little bit more than halfway through the split, but gonna be whipping out the oldie but a goodie for BLG and Sun. Very strong trio they have already. Knight's Orianna, everything from Knight is feared. Knight's Orianna also very feared. The Olaf is gonna be the return here for EDG, the final pick of their first phase.
Yeah, I mean, the identity is very straightforward for EDG. They were worried about not having enough combat power throughout a lot of that last game, at least until the later part of the front-to-back 5v5s. They're not worried about that now. You've got so many different skirmish tools and so many different ways to go forward. The problem is that you've also given BLG a ton of ways to counter-engage you in these instances. Orianna is incredibly safe, and by proxy, she makes everybody else on the team incredibly safe, and Pantheon now has the macro advantage going into this Lock-Olaf solo lane duo. So curious to see how things round out on the bot side of the map. I could definitely see Leave playing more weak side. The Akali ban actually coming out here certainly is an interesting call out. Potentially a Viper ban both for the Akali or potentially for the flexing Orianna down into the bot lane as well.
Hey, you know, he's been willing to do it before. He's really giving... yeah, he's really willing to give a run of unique champions play in the ADC here by Viper, but that's also part of the power, and that's what I love seeing teams like BLG use in the draft, is the knowledge that the meta is crazy right now and that teams can't really expect everything.
That's the thing, man, especially BLG. Like, this is the hardest team to draft into in the LPL because Viper will play any mage really at any time. I like the Lulu and Seraphine bans here. I think it makes a lot of sense to take away any 2v2 prio for EDG, force Leave into that position where he has to play more weak side, and that's going to get locked in here with the Shen, a very powerful pick. This is able to answer the Pantheon macro ability. It's also really good for Olaf and Locke in the late game, because Olaf charging in with a Stand United on top of him is terrifying in terms of what you can deal with, and that's a way to cut through the Orianna shields.
I'm not gonna lie, I think On was maybe looking for that Shen his own. I feel like maybe using that combination with some of the delivery they have would be super nice, but well done by EDG. Steal away some of the crucial picks here. Now have a pretty good engage-centric composition for themselves. Is the Lovers duo the answer for BLG? It looks like that might be the case.
You want a playmaker. Rakan is still pretty darn good, and Xayah can stay incredibly safe if you're worried about Vi and Locke and Olaf, all of these champions diving on top of you, creating this comp. Xayah can peel pretty easily. We'll see if this is going to be a mage. I can also see something like Kaisa coming through here. I think that would make some sense for the comp that they've drafted for themselves. I'm not sure if Lee feels comfortable in the champ. He's yet to play at this split, but Xerath being the hover here would also be a potential lock-in. Wouldn't be the mage that I would think of first with the way they've built their draft, but certainly could be a potential, and it is going to get locked in here, so Xerath bot.
I just think Xerath is, and I've talked about it in ACL, I talked about it everywhere, every time we see it in LPL, this champion is disgusting. Like, the regeneration you have with your mana, the range, like, you can do so much in the bot lane and not be punished for it, and that's exactly how EDG are going to be playing. They're going to play away from Leave, and maybe that'll do Leave some good, sit out on the side for a little bit, but being able to have that late game carry could be huge.
You would really hope that Leave is not going to frontline on Xerath the way that he did on Ezreal. You have even less tools to get away with it now. Yes, no walking forward. I got to give some credit to BLG as well, though. I think their draft is just super easy, and they have so much engage in the back end of the game. You want to talk about scaling. They didn't have the scaling advantage in game number 1, so they had to pressure their advantage. You know, I think both of these teams have relatively okay scaling, all things considered, but I think BLG are going to feel more consistent in that front-to-back 5v5 because Orianna and Xayah are just going to be massive monsters in the back end of the game with all of their engage from Mbessa and Rakan. I think this time it's going to be up to EDG to utilize their Vi lock combo in the middle of the map to be that pressure point, but it means they probably are going to have control over the mid game. We'll see what they can do with it.
It don't have to be flashy, it just has to work good. That's the live or die reasoning there between the team composition, but I really do think it does have that kind of low ceiling of execution that BLG can use to run away with this series. You got to remember, yes, BLG just lost, but they are still top dogs here in Group Ascent. EDG looking for a second game win of the split. Game 2 starting now. Battle chances.
Oh, no.
Shun misses the flash there. I think EDG will be happy with that one.
Yeah, I think EDG's definitely feeling good. I think they probably maybe wanted the kill there on Shun. Unfortunately, he is going to be able to get out for them, but still, getting that flash really is huge. And Knight now also getting pressured out.
God, the double taunt. Level 1 from Parukia. Able to get 2 influential plays before the game really even starts, and that's the kind of influence you love to see from the support. As Leave will run into On here. Parukia will make it back over, and now On needs to be a bit careful.
Yeah, he should be just fine. It would be a little bit difficult for Shen to completely collapse on this, but he wants it. Cleanse.
Insta cleanse from Viper. Using that summoner spell early, and just think about how much value Parukia just got at level 1 with one single ability. He got flash out of Sun, he got pressure onto Knight, and now he just burned the cleanse and latently the heal from the bot lane of BLG.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Parukia has almost single-handedly won this early game for EDG, and this is exactly what this Shen can do at its absolute best. And also, this is exactly what EDG needed to do in the early game here. They wanted to establish that tempo so that they could continue to push in these lanes and be proactive around the map, something they were really lacking in an ability to do in the previous game. Definitely going to have more of a chance to do that. EDG going to consistently be pushed in pretty early on here, but Parukia again!
Oh, they got another chain CC. Beautiful blade collar back, though. Viper able to stop them in their tracks. Was very close to going down. Had to burn the flash now, so no summoner spells on that ADC.
EDG's star young support, or at least potential star young support, is certainly looking pretty darn good here because, man, he has been effective in the early game. This Shen has completely taken over this laning phase. Bit of a mistake there by Viper stepping up. You have to understand that you're playing into Shen. Can't really just free push under tower. You are going to get punished pretty heavily for that. Unfortunately for him, he will lose a lot of tempo in the bot lane because of this, but overall should be fine. Xayah Rakan still is going to be incredibly strong, especially as they tick over here to level 3.
They will be, but I'm just going to call it out now. Some disrespect already happening in game number 2, and those are the kinds of games that BLG loses. See if that comes to a fold here, but there is going to be some pressure from Dede on the bot side. Both junglers having finished their clears will be getting the trade of the Scuttle Crabs, and Zizia will be spotted out on the bot side.
Yeah, they're going to know he's here. Leaf has no mana, so this play is incredibly difficult. You have no stun coming in from the Xerath. Therefore, any sort of layering on a dive is going to be nearly impossible. They're just going to call it off, and Parukia is going to make his way to the mid lane once again. Knight still has his flash available, so he shouldn't be in too much danger, but Bulldog's going to get a little bit of protection here so he can get some vision onto the bottom side of this jungle.
Locke is an interesting champion to be going up against. I've been really interested at how players are willing to play it, especially how aggressive you're willing to be, because you can have that burst potential that kind of a quick mobile APC hasn't typically had, and I think it's really cool to see in the meta.
I mean, Locke is just a terrifying champion to play into if he has any sort of gold because of the amount of proactivity he has. Viper is a little overextended. He's flanked.
Oh, he is absolutely flanked. He's just going to try to dodge out, but I don't think he can. He's trying to get the feathers over. Parukia comes in. Viper trying to set up the Blade Collar, but he just gets CC chained to hell. Blade Collar comes through, but he still goes down. Parukia takes the kill.
Just beautiful again from Parukia. On's going to try to get a little bit traded back here. Really no way to capitalize on the recon, but it's perfect for EDG. Parukia has destroyed this early game. It's been incredible to watch him play, and now Jeje looking for a potential Raptors invade on Chun.
I don't know if this is going to work out for him, though. Parukia just continues to find so much with his shadow dashes and just continues to weather down BLG. As that's going to feel bad for Viper, trying to be that safe AD carry, but now he's going to be losing in some of that poke matchup into the Xerath.
That's the exact thing here. As Bulldog hit level 6, this could be a scary situation.
I love that movement from Bulldog, able to use the teleport damage there as well, but also get back to the other side of the wave. Was very close to being able to take that one down against Knight. Oh my god, Viper just steps up, takes half his health and damage from Leave, and Leave is just perfectly fine. Again, he's going to be getting mana back. He's going to be clearing the wave. He's going to have so much value on this Xerath if he's just left alone.
That's the thing, because Xayah should theoretically be a lot stronger in this isolated matchup, but that early assist is really helpful towards Leave at being able to keep those mana problems in check. The roam has come through. Everybody is on the top side here, and Wenbo's even making his way down. Top laners are going to fight.
Oh, BLG just pulled the trigger. They say Parukia has gotten away with it for too long. A 3-man shockwave comes through from Knight, and Wenbo chases down a double kill. He should just get Ragnarok to sleep as ZDZ finds the return kill for EDG.
Beautiful play for BLG to stay proactive. A double kill for Wenbo is massive for that top lane matchup going into the Olaf. Yes, you're going to trade one back, but having any gold as Mbessa is really important to stay fine in that lane as Olaf continues to scale up on that level 6. We're going to get a replay of how this starts. Parukia just believing in himself a little too much. That Hex Flash is not going to be happening over the wall as he gets CC chained down. He's still only level 3. That triple shockwave coming through from Knight as well, just guaranteeing that extra kill onto Bulldog a little bit later. At this point, Wenbo has basically sacrificed himself, but it's more than worth it for the Mbessa to have gotten as much gold in this fight as she was able to get. That's topside pressure now, at least a little bit more in favor of BLG than it was before, and Dragon is up on the map with Grub spawning in a minute.
And shout out to Shun for the split-second decision-making that we just saw there. I mean, that was incredible to take that momentum and just push it straight into EDG and set the tone a little bit for what we have going on further on into this game. Viper would trigger that wave, and a Grand Entrance comes through on just playing with the enemy here in the 2v2 matchup. Dragon is what I'm really looking at next. We have 35 seconds or a little bit more for the Grubs. Could it be a situation we get a trade of the objectives, even though both junglers are positioning down to this bot side?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that a trade would make sense for both of these teams, but you're absolutely right, Mazel. They are both very much posturing as if they want to fight over this Drake. You can see Control Ward in the pit for both of these teams, and so they're definitely going to be utilizing that pressure. BLG has tempo on the bottom side of the map, and Knight is also pushing into the mid lane, so this should be pretty easy for BLG to take advantage of, especially now that they have vision of Jeje on blue. Like On's going to get chunked out a little bit, but overall, I'm just curious to see how aggressive Shun wants to play this. As Dragon, I think, is really important to start stacking for BLG with the comp they drafted for themselves.
Yeah, getting any advantage in the game is going to feel pretty good for BLG. As we actually see none of that happen. Some actual pings coming out from EDG, and it looks like the back's going to be complete from Sun. Will be under vision, though, and Grand Starfall is available. So if BLG want to push this, they could contest it.
I am watching the minimap as we speak, and that Pantheon is walking down. They're going to be potentially looking for this play, but Rakan's going to be late. And Xayah hasn't really moved yet, so
I don't
looks
think
like
they
it's just going to be going over to EDG.
Yeah, they started to move there. They spent a lot of time moving that way, but it does look like the grubs will just be traded. I don't know if EDG are going to let that one go so easily, though. It does look like they're being stopped for the transition by On sitting in the river. So that's really nice plays from BLG to get something back in the situation.
This is a big advantage of having 2 kills onto the Mbessa early on, is that grub priority is going to be a little bit harder to contest, especially with Orianna's consistent shove in the mid lane here on the wave. So it is going to be that trade of objectives. I honestly think it's the objective that both teams didn't want. I'm sure that they would have preferred the opposite. EDG do really well with grubs with the comp they've drafted, and I think BLG really wanted to start stacking those dragons, but Wenbo looking to fight.
Yeah, it took about half his health, got the instant Ragnarok out from ZDZ. Just wanted to be careful if there was more people coming up his way, and thankfully for ZDZ there was, so he was able to get out of that one. Shockwave there to get the minion wave, but also got a little bit of damage. Oh my god, dude. I swear, every time we've seen Viper step up to leave, he just instantly loses half his health, and if he has his cleanse up, he loses that too.
I mean, low mobility into Xerath is a nightmare. It's just nothing you can really do. If Leave is aiming well, he is going to output a ridiculous amount of damage throughout this game. That lost chapter being completed as well means those mana problems are completely non-existent for the champion at this point. That's been a big reason why AP mages have been so successful down on the bottom side. They really don't have mana problems anymore with a lot of the new items in the game, so they're able to just kind of free farm and free hit. He's going to be able to pick up a tower plate here. Grand Starfall coming through, though.
Starfall, they gotta know that this is coming. The side lane pressure, you can never be overextended without your team. And Leave is fully punished. This time it's okay he didn't burn his flash, but it's not okay to get caught in the side lane.
Classic Leave moment as we're not even done. Knight
gonna flash away. The Shadow Dash actually connects, though, and here comes the Purgatory. They're going to try to lock Knight away, and the nails sink deep. There goes his soul, and a permanent buff for Bulldog.
That's the lock that I wanted to see. Bulldog's really important for the comp that EDG have drafted for themselves. This lock has to start getting fed. Getting a small gold lead on the Orianna is nice. We'll see what they can continue to do with it, but unfortunately, trading that kill onto the bot side means that ultimately the play is kind of net neutral, which I don't think is all that great for EDG. We'll see how much they can get on this push mid lane, but teleport coming through, Bulldog's just going to have to disengage.
They will try to move some more bodies around that mid lane, but looks like that's all going to be a little bit quieted down now that we're going to get the movement away from this. But I do love how active our supports have been, specifically Parukia. I think he's really given On a run for his money here. Sun going for a secondary dive onto Leave. Leave has flash still. Can he use it to buy some time here as the Stand United does come through? Sun should be perfectly fine, as they will move away. Viper did lose a chunk of health there, but they were just trying to see if they could pull some resources, and they did.
Sun basically gives over some visual tempo for a free Shen ultimate. I'm sure he's going to take that trade almost 10 times out of 10. He's going to be very happy with the way that broke down. BLG have done a really good job in the early game of staying neutral. This is something EDG were not able to do last game. This dive could potentially come through from EDG, but Sun is here.
They had vision.
In danger.
Yeah, he was caught shopping a little bit, maybe. Caught wanting, as they will come down to try to delay this potential setup onto Viper. He will be pretty safe with the Featherstorm. And he's backing. He has one stack left on the call. It's fine.
That's so
he's going to have the Storm Razor now, so that won't really matter. On was looking in mid lane, though, trying to help out Knight, who just completed his quest and already has the Swifties building into the Roa. We are getting these first items by getting closer for multiple members. Do you feel like the power spike really changes in either direction from that, especially ahead of this next dragon?
I think it certainly makes things a lot more interesting. I think EDG were at their strongest before a lot of these first item power spikes. BLG are going to be coming online a little more now with some damage coming through from the Pantheon and from the Xayah. Now that that Storm Razor is completed, still not perfect from them. Still imagine that EDG have more isolated combat power with that kill onto Bulldog and that first item completed there, but I definitely think we are now hitting the part of the game where it just is who is going to perform better, and with Dragon spawning in 30 seconds, who's going to have control over the river. I like the vision control right now for BLG. We'll see how long it goes.
Look how Bulldog been kind of playing on the edge, using that gray health to heal back into a lot of these trades as well. Big tools are going to be up, I believe. I think Stand United maybe not so much, but the other tools will be good to go for EDG at least. And it does look like they're going to move in first. So BLG deploying and sending a lot of pings this way.
Yeah, they definitely want to fight this out. Keep an eye on that teleport from Wenbo. ZDZ cannot match. This could be a 5v4.
It's a 4-level difference there between the supports and everybody they are surrounded with. Yeah, they are already getting the Dragon down about a quarter health here. Soon coming in. You can see EDG feeling a bit hesitant here. As Knight's moving over, Wenbo in a 1v1 will flash away from the undertow to make sure, but we came back to the fight. Parukia is almost dead. TP coming down. Shun's just going to chase him down. The Comet Spear to the back. And now Wenbo with the TP coming in to settle the odds. ZDZ comes in a little bit later. Doesn't have the extra shield, but Wenbo does. Wenbo finds himself a third kill. He's looking for even more. He's got a Ragnarok and Olaf, but the Blade Caller makes that one null and void. A double kill comes through for Viper, and Shun is still alive after he kicked off this fight. Stand United does not stand nothing for EDG. One fight, and they are down 3,000 gold now. A triple kill for Viper.
A 6-for-1 in favor of BLG as they kill Parukia twice in that fight. A brilliant showcase from BLG on exactly what their power spike is and how to utilize it. We didn't exactly get to see the engage come through there. We just come back to Parukia with 0 health on the Shen, but I can imagine it's just over posturing from EDG, not respecting the damage that has started to come through for BLG, and it's exactly what we talked about. We're going to get an actual replay of potentially how things started here and, you know, where Shun was in terms of this engage. Yeah, it's just Parukia stepping way too far up and not respecting the fact that Shun is incredibly strong right now with Knight on top of him. Now, Knight does get bursted down, and a lot of effort goes into killing that Orianna, but Wenbo with that massive TP, and again, this is the advantage of course, the Embessa getting that double kill early on, is that run in and completely take over. Great play there by Viper, as you called out, Mazel, and overall just better executed by BLG. They play the fight better, they are able to maximize their damage, and Viper's able to sidestep basically every Xerath ult anyways. Beautiful stuff.
Damn, Viper, damn, I didn't know you got it like that. Damn. I watched that fight 10 more times in slow-mo. My God, he was schmoovin'. Holy cow. I was giving praise to Sun, to Wenbo, to Knight. My Viper is the one that stands out from that fight. That was insane mechanical play from him. The double blade collar, and now I think the avalanche is coming for everything that EDG owns.
Ooh, Knight on the tower.
Another purgatory? Another purgatory step? Oh, he's going to get the flash play. All right. Another soul for the bucket for Bulldog.
Yeah, if he grabs it, which I'm sure he will here, but yeah, definitely at least a good trade overall for EDG. Being able to trade a kill for a kill is nice, as On's going to do his best to try to thin out this wave and hit Bulldog for 0 damage, as this tower is definitely going down in favor of this lock. So turning something in favor of EDG, but still 4K deficit is a backwards ult from Viper that we're going to kind of ignore.
That's, you can tell he's a little bit scared. Oh, leave?
Oh, leave? No, leave.
Okay. Just walk away. It'll be okay. You don't have to go further. That was terrifying, and I like... Oh, but then this is the mage gameplay outplay that we all know and love. Just half a screen away. Just fire away, and Leave gets the kill back. He's laughing there alongside Parukia.
You know, Xerath is really a funny champion in a lot of ways. He can basically just stand back and pick up those free kills. He's going to be pretty happy to do so, considering he was down almost 2,000 gold going into that exchange. Definitely going to help him catch up a little bit. He is at that 2-item power spike. Xerath is far from being weak at this point, so You don't want to underestimate the damage that can come through from that champion. Unfortunately, he is one of the only pieces on the team, him and the Lock, that feel even remotely comfortable right now, and you're starting to lose that big advantage you drafted for. Dragon's not even close to coming up here for another 2 minutes, and this game is only going to get more and more difficult for them as Wenbo might be the target on the top side.
Spotted out, I believe there. As, he's still gonna play in the bush. As he's gonna move forward. They're gonna try to dive. He's diving Wenbo, who does almost have flash available. Gonna public execution, but didn't have the flash just yet. As he does go down, Bulldog was in an attempted dive in the bot side, but it's just turrets that BLG are looking for now.
Yeah, well done by Jejed to put himself in front of ZDZ to make sure he tanked up the ultimate. Now with Shun in the mid lane.
Shun still gets the connection there, even through the stun. Leave goes down again, and the turret's going to be the next focus of BLG.
It just feels like every time EDG get anything on the map, it's almost immediately traded by BLG. They just have such fantastic control over the macro of this game, and they continue to push a lot of these lanes forward to get more gold into priority members. Viper's up almost 2,000 gold right now. See if he can stay alive here.
Caller is ready. They already used the Feather Storm. He's waiting for the big pullback. Gets the triple there. As he tries to get back on a Bulldog, Viper is just feeling himself in this series and in this game. They turn around the kill on the DD. That's the TP coming in, but it's going to be a little bit late. Okay, I don't think the minions can finish it off just yet. And here comes the Rite of the Arcane from over top. My God, how do you dodge out of the damage? But they do. Viper and On survive. The lovers duo walking away and smiling along to the bank.
For all the marksman players that keep telling me that their champs are unplayable, that they can't possibly continue to try and skirmish with any of these mages or these assassins that are coming back, show them Viper just 2v3ing in an exchange against Locke and against Shen and against Xerath, and I think that's going to make a lot of AD carry players really, really happy. Viper is on fire in this game, 2,000 gold up. This Xayah is going to be a problem in the back half here. The scaling has come through, and BLG's 4K gold lead is going to be translated to this dragon. With Parukia in trouble here, potentially.
He is in some trouble. I do wonder how he finds himself out of here. Ah, okay. He's not going to. He will find his way back to base, but it might be in a casket.
Yeah, you know, sometimes that's the role of the Shen support, is you walk up, try to get vision. If the team's there, you die. And you just kind of have to accept that that is your role. Dragon will be going down here in favor of BLG. If it is going to be a win condition, it's going to be much later. I'm not even sure BLG are looking at that. This game might end before those next 10-minute mark. Power spikes come through as that 4K gold lead's looking pretty good for them.
If BLG disrespect, maybe that changes. But so far, so good for BLG. They're on those almost 3 item spikes now, and they still have the Rift Herald for Shun to play.
They've got so much standing gold on the map right now. That makes it so dangerous. Look at the vision control over the river as well. On both sides, top and bot side, there's just nothing on the map right now for EDG to be able to play through. Knight is isolated on the bot side. Could be a target here, but he does have Shockwave.
Okay, they're going to find the angle here, and the Shockwave comes through, but Sombrero, again, I feel like I'm getting deja vu from the last series, does not save him. And that's a bit unfortunate for Knight. Everyone else on his team is doing really well. He is 0-4. This might be one of the worst Orianna performances we've seen from him. And that's speaking highly of it, not negatively, because he's had so many great performances.
He's destroying that KDA stacked. I can't believe he's just calling out my pre-show right now as Han. Not the target here.
Oh, but we know who was, and it was Leave all along. Guess what? He had flash.
Oh, he had flash.
We
all knew.
Didn't matter.
We all knew. Oh, man. Herald now spawned. It's just more on the map. Every time I feel good about EDG, something goes catastrophically wrong for them. Oh, it just is. It's not looking good. This Herald's going to crash into inhib turret.
It's going to get us. Oh, it's actually denied. He gets killed. I love that Viper was just stepping up into 4 people right there. I'm here for it, Viper. Oh, they go back in. Oh, tried to pull the play on a Bulldog. Okay, now Parukia says it's my time, but it's his time to go back to the grave because Viper just shreds him down with the feathers, and now BLG going to try to find an escape route. As Knight has just been PvEing again this game, he's in the side lane.
He's not even trying. They can win the 4v4. Removing Hey, Wenbo.
Okay. Dude, they are just playing so disrespectfully right now. And Viper getting stunned up. Gonna have the Ragnarocking Olaf on him. Waiting for the Blade Collar here, but has good damage back. He's gonna get the flash up, and he gets the kill. Double kill goes through for Viper, but the right of the Arcane gets one back. Leaves gonna get jumped on by Shun. Shun now getting the ire of EDG as they find more kills. That's gonna be 4 members of BLG down.
All right, that might have been a little too far. that's probably where the line is drawn. I think for BLG, as Knight's just going to catch the wave. Bulldog's a little low here. He does have to be a little scared, but that's a big fight win for EDG to get themselves back into the game. They'll probably need at least 1 more of those, but look at where all the kills went. Bulldog is now sitting 1.5K up. He has 5 kills on the lock. That's going to be really important. The trigger pull here from Shun is actually really good. Like, the first engage on this is very smart. Bulldog does a great job of buffering it, and you got to give him a lot of credit. He's been strong in this game on the lock, but Parukia gonna have to suffer the sins of the rest of the team at this point. Just leave. Oriana's free pushing on the top side. You don't need to overextend. Wenbo just posturing way too aggressively. Pantheon has no way to get over the wall, and once this Mbessa is down, you actually have no damage left in terms of being able to burst this by in the way that maybe you would want. She does eventually end up dying, but she buys enough time for the Olaf to be able to get in. Leave is free hitting on the backline. Eventually, the ult comes through and is able to take out Viper on the Xayah, and that's super important. Viper doing his best to survive, but ultimately, just too much from BLG. They need to be a little bit more calm and composed as these fights continue to go along. Not going to matter too much in the immediate, but does give EDG some breathing room.
It does. You can start seeing what Leave is able to do. He's on 3 items now as well, so very strong. Another Ride of the Arcane. He's just checking things out, making sure they're not trying to burn the Baron. On actually got some fancy feet there, was able to get away from all the shots. Doesn't get away from that one, but it's fine. Yeah, I think BLG just playing a little bit overzealous here in this game. They did last game too. They still came away with the win, but about 40 seconds till the next dragon. It would be sole point for BLG.
Yeah, ZDZ getting a little chunked, and it's
bro.
not over. Grant Darkball.
Dude,
1v1.
Just like, you can't get rid of me. As he's gonna Ragnarok and says bet. Oh my god, yeah, he's just dead. On his clapping and his player clam right now, they feel like they just found the pick of the century.
Yeah, I mean, that's awful for EDG. Knight potentially getting soloed here, but Bulldog gets ulted.
Bulldog gets baited. He pops the Purgatory, but doesn't even connect on the Knight. And Viper will find the kill, his 9th of the game. And BLG starting to pick apart the crumbling pieces of EDG.
Yeah, pings are going down onto the Baron. They melt this with Xayah, so this is going to be gone with Jejen not on the map. That is a catastrophic mistake from EDG. Any sort of pressure or momentum they got from that previous play where they, BLG overextended, it's all gone as this is going to go down. They really have no way to even try and contest this. We'll see if EDG even overstep to try and do so.
I feel like you at least use the Ride of the Arcane. Maybe try to get some shots in there, but not going to do so. And that will just be the big purple worm going down to the big blue team. BLG feeling dominant in this split number 3. EDG gonna move on to the Dragon here, but even barring their loss to Top Esports in very troubling fashion, BLG still are the favorites, it feels like, for this regular season. And they show it in dominant performances like this, Kman.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that you have to hope is going to continue to be dominant. Dylan just walking up and taking anything he can. He loses the Dragon. He doesn't want to lose a fight here.
He's just engaging onto Parukia. That's how confident they are. He's onto the tank, and he is winning, guys. He is winning that fight. Disgusting. There's a 7,000 gold lead for BLG, and they are looking to batten down the hatches on this series.
Mazel, I think you generously called the Shen a tank. I'm not sure he's quite able to tank enough as this base is getting completely destroyed by BLG. This Baron buff could very well be the end of the game here.
Oh, they're going to play it safe just like they did in game number 1. They're going to back off. See if they can get the reset out. Still have about a minute 40 on that Baron buff. Don't have any objectives coming up for the foreseeable future, and they tied up the Dragons with EDG taking that one. So 2-2 there. Nothing really to write home about. But BLG still feeling confident as ever. And I just want to take the time, since we maybe have a little bit here, for expectations for BLG in terms of, are they living up to it here in Split 3 for you?
I think they definitely are. The loss to Top Esports was kind of a gut punch, I think, in terms of getting the wind knocked out of their sails, but they are rebounding incredibly well. Jeje does not want this smoke. He does not want this fight. Neither does Bulldog. Oh, boy.
Unfortunately, the fight is coming to Bulldog, which I don't know if he has any decision-making against that. Right of the Arcane's actually going to connect, and that's big damage. Ragnarok now going free here. On's going to flash over the wall there. Shun finally comes back from the grave. Is going to get sniped out by Leave. Leave doing some immense damage in these fights, but he just is too far between all the damaging members of BLG and can't get the sticking damage onto the remaining 3 members who are trying to chase him down and take his turrets.
The sad part is that that's a gold positive play for EDG because of the bounties, but it doesn't matter. The space is getting cracked open. Bulldog's in danger.
Oh, On might get sniped. Leave looking for it. Won't be able to find it there. Turret's going to be the focus.
Oh,
if Wenbo gets on him, though, he's just dead.
No.
Leave is gone, and that's a APC versus a top laner in 2026. Wenbo finding a big kill on a Leave, and the defense of EDG, it will hold for now as the back comes through from Bilibili.
The saving grace for EDG there is that the Baron buff has expired, and so no more push to be had. Knight's going to take this red buff for free, but we're going to get a replay of exactly how this started again. It's just BLG collapsing on the top side. This is still a very aggressive play. If there is one fed member of the enemy team, it is this lock, and with the Stand United and the time bot from the stopwatch coming through, you do have plenty of chances to be able to, keep your main carries alive. And with Viper being kind of the main threat, you are able to buy some time. But unfortunately, no Baron buff, no problem. They're going to keep pushing in the mid lane here, and with those supers in the 2 side lanes, it should be pretty easy to see them potentially push in and try to end the game.
If they can actually get the final push going, they have super minions coming down the side lanes, and they've been very, very clinical on how they want to finish these games, giving some respect to the last minute to EDG. BLG looking to come back from that 2-0 loss to Top Esports, and rightfully so against EDG. We always said the team they face after they lose is always one that's going to get roughed up, and I can definitely say with 2 games that have gone almost over 10,000 gold leads for BLG, they are definitely roughing up EDG here. Nice flash out, and On goes back in. Grand Entrance gets the double knock up, and here comes the cease and desist coming back.
Hey, they got Viper.
They do find the pick on the Viper. Wenbo needs to be careful. Right of the Arcane coming through. Right of the Arcane doing serious damage. Knight still up and available. Grand Starfall available as well from Sun. The defense holds. The super minions still barreling down, but I think BLG will have to back away.
Another overstep from BLG, just too many frontlining marksmen in that comp, and you don't really want your Xayah to be the one taking all the damage at the start of the fight. It's a really good engage by Jeje to be able to blow up this Xayah. It looks very questionable at the start, but look at the positioning of Viper. He's really separated from the rest of his team here. When he comes to collapse in, he's just a little too far forward as On dashes out. As he gets hit by that Vi ultimate, he's just straight up dead. Bulldog has way too much damage at this point in the game, and we talked about Viper styling in some of these team fights. He's kind of needed to because he's so much of the damage for this team, and so when he goes down, there's just no way to be able to keep it going. Pulling the free kill back onto Wenbo is really nice. It's a 2 for 0 in the base. You're going to need like 6 more of those, but 1 is a good start.
It all starts with 1. It all starts with success.
We've said it. We've said it. But I'm saying it about EDG, not about BLG. I want to make that clear.
Dynasties, legacies, something LEC.
Just something LEC.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Fnatic doesn't really seem like they're going to have much of a use for the Good Worlds vibes this year, so we might as well bring them over here to the LPL.
That's tragic.
Get them on some of these other teams.
All right. Super Minion Kill Fest coming through from EDG. As they just really need to clear these waves out before they start getting bunched up in their base. But Baron is being started up, and this might be the final nail here, pun intended, with the lock on the other side. And I don't think they can contest this whatsoever.
I mean, how do you walk into this? Is there any way you could possibly walk into Orianna, Mbessa, like even Xayah, who's going to be able to completely destroy you? It's a free Baron, once again, for BLG. This could potentially be the game-winning push. BLG have all the tools necessary. It's all about whether or not they can execute. Viper now has a Guardian Angel. If you were worried about trying to kill him before, He didn't even use ultimate in that previous fight when he got caught. Now he has ult, he has flash, he has GA, he has cleanse. Good luck getting onto this Xayah.
TP coming back in from Wenbo. I think they want to try to use this shield. I will say Didit got spotted out there. He does have GA, but you can see how much damage Wenbo does already. And the flash grand entrance onto the grand starfall. It's grand everything for BLG. GA is going to be popped, though. You see Viper's already used Wenbo, though. Wenbo is just exerting dominance here in the back line. ZDZ is going to go down to an errant feather, and Dede will actually survive, which might be even more hurtful as Blade Caller sitting at the ready, waiting to get Bulldog. Bulldog going to step away, and the Nexus is the focus. BLG are right back in it. A 2-0 advantage over EDG will bring them to 7-1 in the regular season.
That's the BLG that I remember. They're back, I think. You know, the top esports series, again, got the wind knocked out of them, I think, a little bit in terms of a little bit of a gut punch, but they fire back. They always fire back strong, and they certainly did that here today. It was a little bit greedy. We saw a little bit of the hubris that maybe has come back to bite BLG in a couple of other instances, but they're so much better mechanically that, honestly, they were able to get away with so much here. Yeah,
they really were, and, you know, feels like we're right back home for BLG. For EDG, I don't know, man. It just feels like they can't catch a break.
Yeah.
And it's so tough for EDG because they still have so many games to play, but I don't know how they turn it around. Do you have any thoughts really quick on EDG?
I think the good thing for them is the same good thing we talked about. I know we compared them to WE a little bit in terms of the fact that they haven't looked good, but it's the same positive that you have at all if you're a bottom team in Group Ascend. They're in play-ins no matter what. They can lose every single series in the regular season. They play one series to get themselves into playoffs, and once you get there, anything can really happen, right? You just need to build confidence. It's not really about making sure that you're in a spot where you have to qualify or anything like that. You're going to have a chance. No matter what, you need to make sure that when you get into that series that you feel comfortable with the plays you're making and you feel comfortable with the communication and synergy you have. It's a new team right now. You know, even before Jet came in, new mid laner, new support. These are all players that are really consequential towards the macro of a team, the three most important macro roles. It's going to take some time for them to get, you know, used to playing with each other.
And for BLG, don't change much. Keep disrespecting, I guess. Got a little close. Yeah. I don't know. There's some fights that they were a little crazy, but BLG looking really good. And again, I'm still wondering what the hell happened against top esports, but they will regain their pole position in Group Ascend.
Yeah, I mean, they're at the top once more. I think that was their goal coming into today. Obviously, still got a bit of a chip on their shoulder because as much as they are number one, they are, you know, 0-2 currently against the number 2 team, and so you definitely don't want to sit here and say like, oh, all of their problems are completely solved. They have no worries. There's nothing to freak out about or anything like that. BLG still has ways to go because the expectation for them is not just to be number 1 in the LPL, but to be a team that can, you know, be potentially the best in the world at their absolute best. And you know, I think they're getting closer and closer to that every game.
It's so interesting to see how the standings are panning out here. Got the it's funny that it's like separated so heavily between the 4 and 4 in Group Ascend as well. Wondering what the fates have in store for LNG at 0-3 in Group Nirvana. One more loss, and it's going to be a tough pill to swallow for a team that's been struggling as well. Man, it's been an interesting day. As, a quickie, I guess. As quick as 3 best of 3s can go.
Yeah. You know, it's as quickly as a full day of LPL action can go. We've really jam-packed the schedule here in the LPL this split. So many super days with those 3 series, but you're absolutely right.
4 out of 5 every week.
Yeah, it's definitely ramped up, and you know what? You know, it might be a little bit of a big undertaking, but it's certainly a lot of fun that we're getting so many LPL games all the time because this region really is a complete banger to watch every single game, no matter what.
The games, I'll not to be a negative Nancy, the games were a little more one-sided than I wanted them to be tonight.
Sure.
My body is going to be very happy that it was a quick night. that I get to go to sleep for a couple of hours. But my brain, it's like, I want peak LPL. I wanted, part of my masochistic self wanted EDG to win a game for some reason. Because then that's just awesome and builds some cool narrative. But BLG slammed the door on that one. I think the problem I feel like for BLG is I don't know what they learned from this. Like,
yeah,
they were just over aggressive and it worked. And maybe that's a bad thing for BLG because now they're gonna be like, that worked, we can just do it again. But maybe it's the opposite.
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking that maybe this was just more of a, all right, boys, we're a little deflated after our loss. Let's go out there and have a little bit of fun today. You know, we might not have to take this one as seriously as maybe some of the other series. I'm worried that, you know, maybe they are just a little bit casual and relaxed. I will say, if that is the case, you certainly rebuilt the joy and the excitement. I'm sure there were some smiles on the faces of BLG players. They probably had some fun here today. I don't think they're going to be carrying this level of nonchalant gameplay maybe into their top series, but maybe they should. I don't know. It looked pretty good here.
Call it now. How many more series till Ben comes back?
Oh, wow. You're putting me on the spot like that?
Maybe.
You know, we're... I don't know. Well, hey, they've got some tough series coming up. Well, you know, tough. All series in Group Ascend are tough. You got JDG, who's obviously not in peak form, but that's a team that can certainly contest you. They have all year long. Thunder Talk has been, you know, pretty hot. They just took down WE, and then you've got WE, who are the BLG killers throughout a lot of the playoffs. So certainly have some interesting matchups. Not going to say they might need Ben for the latter part of this year, but I don't know. It might not be Ben. It might be a certain
look bad.
Certain other
Could
top
be
laner
another
as well, so.
certain other top laner that needs to be signed within the next couple days. Or it's not going to happen.
Right.
It could be anybody. It could be you. It could be me. It could be Shivam.
I hope it's not me. Or maybe I do. I don't know. You know, with this bottom side of the map, yeah, if I get to play with Shun, Knight, Viper on, I think I could make the World Championships. I think they're good enough to carry me.
I think I'm also losing my mind. But that's partially because of LPL and partially not. We're gonna look through some of these replays and very, very one-sided fights, obviously, from BLG, and this is towards the tail end of it, where they were really just flexing their muscles a bit, especially this top lane play. Still not without some recompense there for themselves. The Ride of the Arcane from Lee was looking really good, did a lot of damage. Just wasn't enough for EDG as a whole.
We saw the Xerath value. The problem is that, like, you gotta have some other sort of setup, and I understand the idea with the Vi being kind of the driving force. Here's the thing about Vi. As a champion, she kind of needs to be snowballing. If she's not snowballing, if you don't get gold on her in the early game, she is a wet paper towel in the back end of the game. She is going to crumble and fade into dust as she gets poked with holes, and we kind of saw that. A couple of nice engages, but they just had no front line at the back end of the game. The Shen was getting melted, the Vi was getting melted, and if you don't have that front line for Xerath, for Locke, it's like nearly impossible for them to be able to play the game, and BLG certainly took advantage of that.
Bulldog just 100-0'd Viper in like one ability. That was insane. I guess it was like two abilities, but
this Locke champ, hey, I gotta be so for real. We are so lucky as a community that people have not figured out how to break him yet, because this champ is not okay. It's not okay at all.
Imagine having blink teleport resets that aren't as laborious as Katarina. It's pretty nasty. Who do you give MVP for the game and player of the series? What do you got?
You know, I know he made a couple of positioning mistakes, but just from a personal perspective, I want to give that MVP to Viper. A lot of mistakes in the beginning half of that game, but some of the most fun outplays that I've seen. It's going to go to on the Rakan. You know, I think he had a great Rakan game. His engages were really important. I'm shocked this isn't Shun.
Me too. But that's okay. Maybe he gets player of the series. I actually think Knight was probably one of the quietest I've seen him in.
Yeah.
I don't know, a year and a half. Something
like that.
It's been a while since we've seen him really quiet. And most of that was his fault. Like, he was just going around picking flowers and walking around side lanes and stuff. And that also goes to the style that BLG were bringing, but it's funny to see some of the spotlight go the other way here. We'll be curious to see who gets the man of the match.
I think it's got to be Shun. I think he just completely ran this entire series. All due respect to Jeja, the jungle gap here was ginormous in terms of these two teams. And yeah, you know, he put up an okay effort. I mean, top damage on Skarner. That's something.
Yeah, that is something. I don't know if the coaching staff's going to be very happy with that one.
No.
So just put it in big red letters at the front of the board of the room. JJ. Most damage. I don't know, something like that. That was
Bulldog
pretty impressive.
Made up for it on the lock. Yeah, I don't think you know, like, well, you know, Leave had some moments in this series. I think it maybe says a little more about the Ezreal than it does about the Syndra, in my opinion.
I just can't stop focusing on the flashes, Kman. They're living in my head, and I'm not even the player that's doing it. I can't get away from it. I think we do finally have it going. All right, player of the match goes to Viper.
Okay.
Interesting.
Didn't see that coming
tonight. We're gonna segue this to something else because that's weird and okay, cool. I guess Viper, sure. Congratulations. That being said, man, we still have a whole nother day of LPL here in week number 3, and the fact that we only have a couple weeks left, Kman, it's crazy.
Yeah. We're over halfway done. What is that about? Yeah. That's crazy. Insane. I mean, tomorrow, it's a big day. We've got some fun matchups, certainly some important matchups. That final series of the day, JDG and WE, that one really matters for the standings. Getting top 4 is really important right now. Proving that you can get top 4 if you're a team like JDG that's kind of struggled, or proving that you can continue to push forward if you're WE. That is a really big matchup for both of these teams. Arguably the most important for the rest of the regular season for both of them.
Yeah. And make sure you tune in. It's going to be more best of 3s coming your way. Final thoughts here on the day, Kman. Anything you want to say before we get going?
We had a lot of fun here today. Unfortunately, in the conversation, I guess, that Foles and I have been having about Bulldog, it does seem that unfortunately Bulldog has not quite lived up to the Foles hype. Hopefully we can get a little bit more of that next week.
True.
And, you know, I want to get EDG that series win, man. I want to get them on the board so bad.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is going to be really interesting. LNG need to find some kind of life. I can't believe they could potentially already be eliminated tomorrow. It would be absolutely insane, but we've seen that even last year with teams getting eliminated so early into the year. And I know it's going to feel even worse if that is the case for LNG, but that top esports team looking pretty good, and WE going against the struggling JDG. We'll see what exactly happens there. And before we get going tonight, we got to give a huge and special thank you and shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mong, Galati, and Andrea Duran. Their pledged financial contributions helps level up the broadcast on a daily basis. All this stuff, all the bells and whistles you see, all the volunteers that make this a 5 out of 7 days of the week opportunity, that all goes to providing for all these things that we have here. So thank you all very much. And if you want to try to support the program, try to support the project, please go consider becoming an Elite Coffee supporter. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Be back same time, same early place for more LPL action tomorrow. We'll see you there, and we'll see you on Summoner's Rift.